Kick the balloon. In today's HitFilm tutorial, we're looking at how to make the demon face from our It short film, which if you haven't seen already, you can find in the card on screen now. This effect was done using HitFilm Pro, but you can follow along in Express if you use the Mocha add-on. You'll also find the project files and a free balloon in the description down below. Let's see how this is done using HitFilm Pro and Mocha. We're going to start off by using Mocha to track and mask our components for the assets to be placed over. Go into the effects window and under Boris FX Mocha, you'll find the Mocha HitFilm plugin. By going into the control panel and under FX, we can open this drop down to access Mocha. Let's launch the Mocha UI. For my shot, I'll be masking the eyes and mouth, while getting tracking data from my pupils and teeth. Let's start with masking. I'm not going into too much detail here, so if you're new to Mocha, we have a whole bunch of in-depth Mocha HitFilm tutorials on our channel, starting with the one on screen now. Go to the X-spline or pen tool and go around the shape of the eye. You don't need too many points around the shape, but it will help to make a smoother track. Once done, right-click the mouse to confirm your shape. If you now click and drag to highlight them, we can pull in the handles in order to smoothen out those edges. Now let's get tracking. Great! Skim through to ensure the mask is secure and repeat for the other eye if necessary. I'm just going to speed this up. That's our masking done. Let's move on to tracking. Like before, use the X-spline tool to mask your feature. In this case, the pupil. Before hitting track, I'm going to adjust the values. With this being a straight, flat shot, I'm going to limit my track to just translation, which is also position. I'll also track my front teeth. Bit different with the mouth, as in this example I had to deliver lines, so we have some motion to deal with. It's worth noting that should you blink, or in my case speak, covering the feature, you should track to the last point of visibility, ensure you have a keyframe, manually move to the end of the motion, and restart the track once visibility is restored. A great feature of Mocha is the automatic keyframing and animation, which makes rotoscoping a breeze. Last thing I'll do is rename these layers appropriately to be recognized in HitFilm, just to secure I know which layer is which. With the naming sorted, we'll select the mask layers and go to Export Shape Data. Be sure to have all selected layers enabled. For the tracking points, we'll need to do them individually. Ensure you have transform data selected and save. Repeat for any additional tracks. We can save and close Mocha for now. We won't be coming back, but it's best to keep it on the layer in case amends are needed later. Now in HitFilm, we're going to import our exports from Mocha by going to the import icon. Once imported, HitFilm will create composition shots for each asset. To keep things neat, select each layer from each import and bring them to the main timeline. Besides the name of each layer is a small square. If we select it, we can change the color of the layer. Other than making the timeline look jazzy, it's a good way to organize your timeline. Tomato for tracking, a medium grey for masks, etc. I have here a PNG of some fangs, which I'll import into the timeline, and by using the selection box and anchor, move and stretch to position the fangs. You may also wish to make the fangs thinner and duplicate them to the other side, just to fill the mouth more gruesomely. Once happy, I'll parent the fangs to the teeth tracking layer. To apply our mask, I'll duplicate the footage layer, and by pressing F2, rename this mask footage, and grab the mask from my mouth shape layer, and copy, paste it into the duplicated footage. Let's also bring in the mask from the eyes. If we now go into the mask drop down, we can now invert this. Drag this layer to the top of the timeline. This hides our teeth appropriately. To help the blend, I'll apply curves as well as a hue, saturation and lightness. To dilate the pupil like a shark, we'll go to the new layer icon and make a new plane, naming it Pupils. Now place this layer underneath the mask footage layer. Go to the ellipse tool and mask out each eye. If we go back to our masked footage, set the two eye masks to subtract. Now by going into the layer properties, change the blending option to soft light. The veins in the final effect were made from PNG images. They were brought into the timeline, set to the blend soft light, then scaled and rotated into position, followed by a lens blur and diffusion for additional comping. This layer was then duplicated and scattered into various positions. Then once happy, parented to the nearby feature that had tracking points. Demons don't wash their faces, fact. So if we make a new layer and name this Fractal, we're going to go under Generate and apply Fractal Noise. To see what you're doing, Let's go into the layer properties and set this to soft light. This may vary for your own project, but for this tutorial I set the type to wisp, increased the scale and adjusted the offset and exposure. Apply curves to highlight more detail if needed. Due to the brightness of this shot, I used a set matte from Keying's matte enhancement tools, setting my source layer to footage while making lumency my matte source. For your own work, this could cause issues if not in darkness, so apply a mask to the area you're after and copy the masks that we created in Mocha. Don't forget to parent this all to one of your eye tracking points. The last step is this hideously large eyes and smile. We're going to be using the bulge effect and setting it to our tracking points. Let's start off with the eyes. Go to the new layer icon and generate a grade layer. Under the distort tools, we'll find and apply bulge. Under its center settings, we can use the eyes tracking data to parent the effect to a specific area. You may need to adjust the position values to align efficiently. Now adjust the bulge size and radius to get the desired look. The mouth is a very similar process. Create a grade layer, apply a bulge, and use the mouth tracking data as its source. This time we'll open the scale dropdown and adjust the X and Y values till we get a wide, creepy smile. As a quick overview, if you're looking to reveal this through a balloon like we did, you can find the actual balloon model in the description below. Simply import, and after some animation and lighting, a new composition shot was created. Each of the composite shots, the face and the balloon, were brought into the new one, along with a copy of the original clip. A set matte was applied to the demon face composite shot, with the source set to the balloon layer and the type set to alpha, while the balloon itself was duplicated 3 times, each set to a different blend type: overlay, soft light, and add. Now go to the bottom layered balloon and lower the opacity. This will transfer the color of the balloon to your footage. And that's it! You're now showing your inner demons. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe. We have a bunch more tutorials headed your way from this short film, which again, if you haven't seen already, go check it out. Till then, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications on when we next upload. And we'll see you in the next HitFilm tutorial.